Why buy half a mattress? Two sides are always better than one. Celebrate with the American Spirit from Englander. Made in America, exclusively at Betting Barn. Take it home with you or same-day delivery available. Buy at a Betting Barn near you.
In Florida, Davie, Tamarack, Deerfield Beach, Boynton Beach, and West Palm Beach.
Hi, I'm Jeff Katz from Dolphin Carpet and Tile. During these tough economic times, we've slashed our prices to the lowest levels in our history, and I've authorized 18-month no-interest financing. Dolphin Carpet and Tile wants your business. Now is the time to buy.
When you think of ultrasound, you probably think of pregnant women, right? That's only the tip of the iceberg. Diagnostic ultrasound technicians also check patients for problems of the heart, abdomen, and more. And the career field is growing as more doctors use ultrasound instead of x-rays. So if you want a career where you can help people and be in demand, call ATI for career training. The number is on your screen. Call ATI right now. One call can change your life. Call now.
He's covering Wall Street. What happened today, what to expect for tomorrow, and how it all affects your life in South Florida. CBS 4's Al Sunshine, part of the For Your Money team, only on CBS 4 News.
Betting Barn has the largest selection of the world-famous Tempur-Pedic at the guaranteed lowest discount prices. You gotta feel it to believe it. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
In Florida, Davie, Tamarack, Deerfield Beach, Boynton Beach, and West Palm Beach.
We now join our program in progress.
Floods are also reported. More than 30,000 people are evacuated from their homes just outside Tacoma. About 60 highways throughout the state have been shut down. We'll have much more news ahead. This is CBS News, up to the minute.
What's an emergency that boosts your health and energy? 1,000 milligrams of immune-strengthening vitamin C, plus naturally energizing B vitamins. Get a free sample at emergency.com and feel the good.
I couldn't sleep last night.
Me either, so I tried Unisom Sleep Melts.
They dissolve quickly without water and taste great.
You'll melt asleep fast, stay asleep, and wake refreshed.
Sleep well?
Like a baby.
Unisom Sleep Melts.
Melt asleep fast.
Attention, all Medicare beneficiaries who need assistance getting around their homes. There is a Medicare benefit that may qualify you for a new power chair or scooter at little to no cost to you. Imagine one scooter or power chair that could improve your mobility and your life. One Medicare benefit that, with private insurance, may entitle you to pay little to nothing to own it. One company that can make it all happen.
Your power chair will be paid in full.
The Scooter Store.
Hi, I'm Dan Weston. We're experts at getting you the scooter or power chair you need. In fact, if we pre-qualify you for Medicare reimbursement and Medicare denies your claim, we'll give you your new power chair or scooter free.
I didn't pay a penny out of pocket for my power chair. With help from the Scooter Store, Medicare and my insurance covered it all.
Call the Scooter Store for free information today.
Call 1-800-313-2141 for free information. That number again is 1-800-313-2141.
Cute kid. Bet you think that carpet's pretty clean, huh?
I just vacuumed a second ago.
Yes, but you've only cleaned the surface. Vacuuming alone won't get the sticky dirt that's buried deep down in your carpet. Resolve high-traffic foam removes the deep, sticky dirt that vacuuming can't. Just spray it on, rub in gently, and vacuum away. Using Resolve regularly will keep this mess from staying in your carpet.
Ugh.
That's clean.
Really clean.
Don't just vacuum clean, Resolve clean.
It's 40 past the hour. Wednesday saw a historic gathering at the White House. All the living presidents and the president-elect standing together in the Oval Office. It was part of a lunch organized by Mr. Obama. President Bush took a moment to wish his successor well.
One message that I have, and I think we all share, is that we want you to succeed. Whether we're a Democrat or Republican, we care deeply about this country. And to the extent we can, we look forward to sharing our experiences with you.
With less than 2 weeks left in office, President Bush finds himself in the unique position of holding the most powerful job in the world, but not much political power. CBS's Jim Axelrod takes a look at what many call lame duck status.
So here's the way it works. One day, you're the most powerful man on earth. The next, you're getting shoes thrown at you. As soon as there's a next guy, you become a lame duck, diminished, growing more powerless by the day. Perhaps the biggest adjustment is realizing no matter how much you want something done, you now lack the influence to get it done. George W. Bush has troops fighting 2 wars and is dealing with the worst economic crisis in 65 years. But it's the new guy who's getting all the attention.
There is this problem of who's president, and Obama during this period has been behaving slightly differently than previous presidents in the sense that almost daily he's making appointments, but at the appointment stage he's making statements about policy and about what he believes in. And that really undermines this lame duck even more. This lame duck is even further behind the flock as a result of this.
The term itself actually predates the presidency. James Thurber, a professor of government at American University, traces it all the way back to Great Britain.
But it comes from the 18th century London Stock Exchange, where if somebody couldn't pay their debts, and boy is that important these days, they were called a lame duck.
A lame duck referred to someone with no capital, given the president's diminishing power between Election Day and Inauguration Day. But history provides a number of crises overseen by lame duck presidents. Take 1860, for example, and the transition from James Buchanan to Abraham Lincoln. As the threat of civil war approached, 7 southern states seceded while Buchanan was a lame duck. Or the months after the 1932 election, Herbert Hoover to Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
I think Hoover is the lamest of all lame ducks. He lost power completely. He had a serious economic crisis going on, the Great Depression, and the newly elected president, FDR, wouldn't even talk to him. FDR kept quiet until he was inaugurated, and then he introduced the New Deal, which totally undermined what Hoover was trying to do.
And to make matters worse, FDR wasn't inaugurated until March, so Hoover was a lame duck for 4 months. That's how it used to be, to provide enough time for the travel and communication required to set up the next administration. The Hoover-FDR transition made it crystal clear that was a dangerously long period. And soon after, the 20th Amendment moved the inauguration to January 20th. You have some experience with transition.
I have.
Stephen Hess has been part of just about every transition in the last half a century. In fact, he wrote the book on it. He was a 25-year-old speechwriter in the Eisenhower White House when John F. Kennedy brought his people in, a changing of a generational guard that was not without its thinly veiled tensions.
And they weren't interested in us. They were arrogant because they're all arrogant when they come in because there's a marvelous thing has happened to them. They've just been elected president. They were ignorant, which happens because there's really no school for presidents.
The next time he was working for the guy taking over, Richard Nixon. Lyndon Johnson desperately wanted out of Vietnam, for his legacy if nothing else. Hess learned when it comes to transitions, it's always better to be with the president coming in than the one going out.
Johnson wanted Nixon to do some things. Vietnam was on the table and so forth. Nixon said, so he says, back of his head, January 20th, noon, I can do what I want. I don't have to do what he wants me to do. And so that's rather typical. That's the standard way that they operate.
President Bush has received high marks for the way he's handled this transition, welcoming Barack Obama to the White House immediately and demanding his staff cooperate fully.
All of us must ensure that the next president and his team can hit the ground running.
Woodrow Wilson was even more selfless, devising a plan where he would quit if he lost, because he didn't feel the country was best served having a lame duck president in the middle of World War I. He proposed appointing his Republican opponent, Charles Evans Hughes, Secretary of State, if Hughes won. Wilson and his vice president would have then resigned so that Hughes, next in line, could have taken over immediately. But Wilson narrowly won a second term. The world doesn't stop turning. President Carter was dealing with a national crisis until the final moments of his presidency.
And that's the way it is. Monday, January 19th, 1981, the 443rd day of captivity for the American hostages in Iran.
It wasn't until Ronald Reagan was about to be sworn in that the hostages were freed. Kenneth Duberstein was on the Reagan team.
I remember being on the west front of the Capitol, up on stands, when we all heard the good news that the hostages had been released.
I think that if Carter had been reelected, I think the Iranians would have taken him more seriously. When you're a lame duck, it undermines your power completely. If he wasn't a lame duck, he would have had the power to do something with it.
Lame ducks aren't powerless in their final days, however. Presidents have known that since the beginning. Take the transition from John Adams to Thomas Jefferson, number 2 to number 3. The beginning of another tradition, leaving your successor plenty to undo.
Adams and Jefferson really didn't like each other. They hated each other. And Adams was a lame duck, giving the presidency to Jefferson. And so Adams was continually doing things like appointing people of his that supported him that Jefferson didn't like. And so, you know, they continued to carpet each other until...
Was that like a stick in the eye?
It's like a stick in the eye.
That continues to this day. President Bush is busy making last-minute appointments and pushing through dozens of new regulations, covering everything from mining to abortion to the environment, that'll be tough for the Obama administration to overturn. There's no comparison with other democracies. Only the United States has such a long transition of power.
Are there ways, significant ways, that we hurt ourselves by having a fairly long lame duck period?
A long lame duck period to January 20th, say, compared to December 1st, creates a dangerous situation for us in the world. The American people like to have a central core of authority. And when someone's a lame duck, you don't know where the political core of authority is.
But Kenneth Duberstein believes the job is too complicated, the staff's too big to make the transition any quicker.
I think you always will have a lame duck period, but you can't have a dead duck period. There is only one president at a time, but it takes you a while to get up to speed.
Even a lame duck president is still the president right up until noon on January 20th. Kenneth Duberstein still recalls President Reagan's last day in office, one final briefing in the Oval Office. Mr. Reagan careful not to take something with him he wasn't supposed to, like the nuclear launch codes.
And he reached in his pocket and he went to hand us his nuclear code card.
He literally tried to hand you the codes.
He just ran his pocket. Well, here, guys, I don't need this anymore. No. Put it back in your pocket. You're still president until noon.
Tired of morning coming in the middle of the night? Ask your prescriber about 2-layer Ambien CR. The first layer dissolves quickly to help you fall asleep, and unlike other sleep aids, a second dissolves slowly to help you stay asleep. Until you know how Ambien CR will affect you, you shouldn't drive or operate machinery. Plan to devote 7 to 8 hours to sleep before being active. Sleepwalking and eating or driving while not fully awake with amnesia for the event have been reported. In rare cases, severe allergic reactions can occur. If you experience any of these behaviors or reactions, contact your doctor immediately. Side effects may include next-day drowsiness, dizziness, and headache. It's non-narcotic and can be taken for as long as your prescriber recommends. Like most sleep aids, it has some risk of dependency. Don't take it with alcohol. To wake up ready for your day, ask your prescriber for 2-layer Ambien CR.
It's the money you could be saving with Geico. He's peering deep into your soul, as if he knows you'd like to save money.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
It's the money you could be saving with Geico. Even after this commercial ends, he'll be here waiting. He just wants you to save money.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Sensitive skin runs in the family.
Oh, yeah. New fragrance-free Gold Bond Ultimate Soothing Lotion. Moisturizers, vitamins, and chamomile soothe and calm irritation. Irritated skin? History.
Can your lotion do that?
New Gold Bond Ultimate Soothing. This stuff really works.
Serious sore throat sufferers know there's nothing worse than a sore throat with a bad cough. Only new Cepacol Sore Throat Plus Cough Spray has the power to stop both fast.
Thank you.
Only Cepacol stops both fast.
Tonight, looking for work? The surprising new way you could make six figures on the internet. Tonight on the CBS ED News with Katie Couric.
It's the biggest singing competition to hit morning television. One song, one chance, one catch. You have to sing with your family. The Early Show Singing Family Face-Off. For your shot at stardom, watch The Early Show and log on to earlyshow.cbsnews.com for details.
The biggest names in politics face the nation with Bob Schieffer Sundays.
In health news this morning, the Centers for Disease Control is investigating a salmonella outbreak that has sickened nearly 400 people in 42 states. Ohio, Michigan, and California are among the states hardest hit. Officials don't know how the bacteria is spreading. To protect yourself, wash your hands frequently and be careful handling raw meat. Authorities are also warning of a disturbing upward trend in the nation's teen birth rate as Mississippi moves to the top of the list. A new federal report says the Magnolia State bumped New Mexico and Texas for the top slot. Mississippi's teen birth rate was 60% higher than the national average in 2006, which saw a 5% increase from 2005. A snowboarder lost in the mountains of New Mexico finds salvation in his pocket. 19-year-old Sebastian Gomez got lost in 4 feet of snow. A team of 100 rescuers in the air, on snowmobiles, and with search dogs combed the mountains for him. Just as it looked like Gomez would have to survive overnight, he heard a helicopter. To draw attention, he waved his iPod. The crew, wearing night vision goggles, saw the light and made the rescue. When it comes to technology, life-saving or otherwise, the best place to find the latest and greatest is at the annual Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. CBS's Manuel Gallegos is there with a look at the future.
TVs that are bigger and thinner than ever.
It's less than an inch thick. So really? So the whole idea here is this is like a painting that you're going to put on the wall.
Forget about renting a DVD. Very soon, HD movies and TV shows will be streamed easily into your home via the internet. These are just a few of the hottest home items. To be street and work smart, there are Bluetooth headsets encrusted with crystals, tiny cameras that shoot in 3D, and ultra-small projectors that turn your iPod into a presentation. Even fashion eyewear with earphones and Bluetooth built in, about $200.
I believe that we've successfully blended fashion and technology.
A lot of the products that are being shown at this year's show are upgraded versions of things we're already familiar with, and consumers are buying, but they're being cautious.
We have people investing in their homes. Instead of taking the big vacation or buying the boat or something else, for a few cents per hour, they could buy virtually any of our products. They could also start a new business with a computer, a telephone, a digital camera.
Prices have definitely dropped for high-tech items that were very expensive years ago. There really is something for everyone here, even a remote-controlled plastic duck that gets hunted out of the sky, about $59.
That's great shooting right there. That's great shooting.
And great technology aiming to hit a bullseye with consumers. Manuel Gallegos, CBS News, Las Vegas.
You're watching CBS News Up to the Minute.
If you're suffering from chronic lower back pain, sciatica, herniated disc, degenerative disc, or even failed back surgery, call the number on the bottom of your screen and see if you're a candidate for an emerging non-surgical treatment called spinal decompression therapy. During spinal decompression therapy, the patient reclines, and a gentle pull calculated specifically for that particular patient works in an effort to relieve pressure between discs and allow the back to begin a natural healing process. There are no drugs, no injections, and no surgery. And for thousands of chronic back pain sufferers, it is the one therapy that has provided true back pain relief.
I was not able to work at all for 2 months.
there was nothing I could do. I would go back to work on a light duty position, but even a light duty sitting in a chair doing menial work, after about 2 days, it would cripple me up again to where I couldn't even do that. It brought my life back to me. All the things I was doing before, playing with the grandchildren, playing with my children, is all back. I could do things with them, lifting them, rolling around with them, chasing them, playing with them. All those things came back without limitations. In my mind, spinal decompression is what you need to look at first. It's not invasive. I've heard too many stories of surgeries that just didn't work, and the people wish they never had it done because in some cases they are worse off than what they were before. Your spinal decompression, it's got to be your first option.
So if you're tired of living with back pain and don't want surgery, call today and see if spinal decompression therapy can help you.
2 million visitors are expected in Washington, D.C. this month for the inauguration of Barack Obama. With hotel rooms scarce, many D.C. residents had visions of raking in big bucks by renting their homes. But as CBS's Kimberly Dozier found out, it's not exactly working out that way.
All this can be yours Inauguration Week in Washington, D.C. for roughly $10,000 a night. Throw in this chauffeur-driven Mercedes-Benz. Going once, going twice, actually not gone yet.
Would you shell out that much for here?
Yeah, because it's very nice, you know.
It's got a rooftop terrace and maid service thrown in, but even the real estate agent admits it's a tough sell.
What would you tell someone makes this place worth the money?
I mean, like I say, it's not far from nothing. You're going to be right in the heart of everything.
But so far, no takers, and that's the norm. Long & Foster has 177 inauguration properties available. Some 24 deals are underway, but only one property is actually rented out. Same goes for classified website inauguralhomes.com. Of 650 listings, only 5%, fewer than 40 homes, have been snapped up, but they're still hopeful.
Millions of people are coming, 500 hotel rooms left. They're going to need somewhere to stay.
With demand lower and competition a little fiercer than expected, homeowners are fighting to stand out.
It's a 4-level home, so we have this elevator that'll hold 4 people and all your luggage.
A half hour outside the city, Rubel Zaman and his wife Monica are offering their 4-bedroom home for $2,000 a night, or
best offer. I'm willing to take any best offer basically because we have had no calls.
No calls?
No calls at all.
The computer engineer found he isn't the only one advertising on Craigslist, so he's throwing in a personal tour of D.C., as well as the kitchen sink.
Any kind of special request, as long as it's not outrageous.
Bottom line, he's ready to negotiate.
There is still time. The reviewing stand isn't built yet, and most importantly, the inauguration tickets haven't gone out yet. So few people are going to shell out until they're sure they've got a spot somewhere here. Kimberly Dozier, CBS News, the White House.
Thanks for joining us this half hour. This is CBS News Up to the Minute.
Tonight, looking for work? The surprising new way you could make 6 figures on the internet. Tonight on the CBS ED News with Katie Couric.
CBS News. Experience you can trust.
Now on CBS News Up to the Minute.
The worst I've ever seen, so it really came up in a hurry.
Evacuations in Washington as heavy rain and melting snow touch off mudslides, avalanches, and widespread flooding. And prayers for the dead in Gaza as Israel, Hamas, and the Palestinian Authority meet to talk peace. Good morning from CBS News headquarters in New York. This is Up to the Minute. I'm Meg Oliver. Dangerous winter weather has much of the nation in its grip this morning, but nowhere worse than the Northwest. A massive storm system has brought torrential rain, melting the snowpack and causing floods.
Fire department!
Fire and rescue teams are going door to door in western Washington, where flooding has forced the evacuation of more than 30,000 homes. Avalanches and mudslides closed dozens of highways, including all the major passes across the Cascade Mountains. The winds were so high they knocked tractor trailers off the roads.
I felt my trailer just lift right up and drop again. And I hit my brakes and I tried to hold on to it, and then the wind just took me right into the guardrail.
He managed to save his rig. Others weren't so lucky. CBS's Dean Reynolds has more.
The weather is, in a word, awful.
I'm not sure it's going to be too long before the highway is impassable here.
A map showed almost every state at some level of weather alert. Mudslides, avalanches, and especially flooding. Near Seattle, snow runoff mixed with nonstop rain on the Tolt River, closing roads and threatening homes. A golf course was one big water hazard, and half a foot of more rain is on the way.
It's only going to get worse.
Near Spokane, 200 National Guardsmen were clearing snow from roads and roofs, and 700 residents outside Tacoma were urged to leave home. In New Mexico, a snowboarder survived 2 days nearly buried at the bottom of a ski run, signaling a chopper with light from his iPod.
I knew I was going to be okay. I didn't freak out or anything.
In the south, rain was falling and rivers were rising.
We haven't seen this probably in the last 5 to 6 years.
Rescuers offered practical advice.
Do not drive through water.
Ice collapsed a marina in Virginia and glazed highways in the Midwest, a warning to the Northeast facing similar conditions. But in Michigan overnight, the ice may have saved 2 people on a plane that the weather forced onto the frozen St. Joseph River. They walked away from the mishap instead of having to swim for their lives. Dean Reynolds, CBS News, Chicago.
Federal health officials have no clue to the source of an outbreak of salmonella. It's spread to nearly every state. This particular strain is usually found in poultry, cheese, and eggs. Salmonella can cause diarrhea, fever, and stomach cramps that can last up to a week. An historic meeting at the White House as President-elect Obama continues his effort to reshape Washington. CBS's Susan Roberts reports.
A gathering like this hasn't happened at the White House since 1981, and it's never included an African American. President Bush brought all 3 living former presidents into the Oval Office to offer advice to President-elect Barack Obama.
We want you to succeed, whether we're Democrat or Republican.
But the historic White House gathering was not the first item on Mr. Obama's agenda. Earlier, he announced he's creating a new administration job, Chief Performance Officer. The person he picked to hold government agencies more accountable and make them leaner is Nancy Killefer.
Nancy has built a career out of making major American corporations and public institutions more effective, more efficient, and more transparent.
The new White House position is part of the president-elect's push to make good on a campaign promise, bringing change to Washington. He's starting with the economy.
In order to restore confidence in our economy, we must restore the American people's confidence in their government.
The Obama administration will inherit a budget deficit of over $1 trillion. He knows his plans will add to that at first, but he says that over time they'll reduce the shortfall.
And if we do nothing, then we will continue to see red ink as far as the eye can see.
As Mr. Obama readies his $700 billion stimulus package, he is asking his new performance officer to help him cut where they can so he can spend what he must, all in an effort to save or create millions of jobs and put money back in taxpayers' pockets. Susan Roberts, CBS News, Washington.
The war in Gaza may be spreading to northern Israel, where militants in the Israeli army exchanged artillery and rocket fire across the border of Lebanon. Meanwhile, Israel resumed its bombing of Gaza despite talks in Cairo aimed at forging a ceasefire in the nearly 2-week conflict. CBS's Mark Phillips reports.
For a brief while, it all looked hopeful. The bombs stopped falling and the people emerged to see what was left of their world. The Israelis called it a recess in offensive operations, but this was a recess in which nobody went outside to play. Instead, the besieged people of Gaza came out to get what they need to survive. A convoy of about 80 trucks loaded with relief supplies was allowed to enter the strip, and the Hamas militants promised that they too would hold fire and stop launching their rockets into Israel. It was a time to retrieve those bodies of the dead which could not be collected while the air raids continued, and a time to bury those killed in the Israeli attack on a United Nations school, which has become the single deadliest episode of this war. The Israelis still insist the civilians taking shelter in the school were being used as human shields by a Hamas mortar squad. The UN says it had warned the Israelis the school was full of families seeking refuge.
Yesterday we had children, large amounts, very severe injuries, and I had children dying between my hands.
For 3 hours this afternoon, there was the taste of peace, the beginnings perhaps of an end game, but not the end, not yet. Neither side apparently has the conditions it needs to stop.
And so the shelling resumed, as the Israelis said that they welcomed a proposed peace initiative, but could not yet accept a deal that did not guarantee an end to Hamas rocket fire. They again pounded the southern Gaza cross-border tunnels used to bring in weapons materials. And the Hamas rockets flew again too, as the militants said the proposal did not guarantee the Israeli blockade of Gaza would be lifted. The Israelis have released footage of prisoners they've captured, and they continue to weaken Hamas, but they have not gotten near its leadership or apparently broken its will. Yet the Israeli cabinet has put off a decision whether to go to a further phase of this operation and push forward into the urban areas to seek out Hamas fighters. While there is only talk of a potential deal, there is still fighting.
Just beyond this last military checkpoint before Gaza, the Israelis are making preparation for their third phase military assault in case those Cairo talks don't work. They're building a forward military field hospital just a couple of miles down this road. Mark Phillips, CBS News on the Israel-Gaza border.
Now there's a safe, natural way to dramatically improve your sexual performance with Postivac, the medically approved vacuum therapy system that's 95% effective, guaranteed. Simply apply the gentle suction of the Postivac system, and within 4 minutes, you'll experience complete sexual performance.
I was kind of amazed how well Postivac works.
It worked the first time around. I'm going, wow, it really works.
Now you and the one you love can enjoy complete sexual pleasure and satisfaction anytime with no pills, no doctor visits. Postivac is a clinically proven vacuum therapy system, not a pill. You'll experience results in less than 4 minutes, not hours, and there are no harmful side effects.
Vacuum therapy is so safe and effective that it is now the only erectile treatment covered by Medicare Part B. And now Postivac is approved by almost every major insurance company in the country. You pay nothing up front, so there's no waiting for reimbursement. We even take care of the paperwork for you.
Postivac's the only way to go. I'm telling you, I've tried everything, and I know if you don't give it a try, you're crazy.
You're going to be all you can be, or you're not going to be all you can be, and this helps you be all you can be.
If you have a brain in your head, dial this 1-800 number after this commercial. Why take the best part of life out of your life when you can have life with Postivac?
Call now to have Postivac delivered discreetly to your home. It's 100% guaranteed to work for you or your money back. And remember, Postivac is covered by Medicare and most insurance companies, so your Postivac may be yours at little or no cost to you. Postivac works in minutes, but the results can last a lifetime. Experience the confidence. Experience complete sexual performance. Experience Postivac.
It's 10 past the hour. It's a mystery that's been going on for years, but police are only now starting to investigate. An 11-year-old Kansas boy vanished from the home of his adoptive parents a decade ago, but apparently no one reported it. CBS's Julie Chen has the story.
I have lots and lots of questions and very little answers.
Tiffany Broadfoot is asking the same question that's on the minds of many around Wichita, Kansas. What happened to her brother, Adam Herman?
We don't know what happened to Adam Herman past 99.
Herman was 11 years old and living with his adoptive parents at this mobile home park outside Wichita when he disappeared. Adam's adoptive brother, who doesn't want his identity revealed, claims Adam was abused by his adoptive parents.
What I remember most is the abuse and how, we would defend him and we would do everything we could not to let it happen.
But how could almost a decade go by without someone noticing that Adam had been missing? The boy's adoptive parents have said that Adam frequently ran away from home and that the last time he ran away, in 1999, he never returned. Relatives, however, were told something different.
We thought he went back to the state. That's what we were told.
An anonymous tip last month led to the investigation. It's a daunting task for investigators, but this age-enhanced drawing may provide some answers. Using an old photograph of Herman, a forensic artist created this image of what Adam would look like today at age 21.
We just want to capture that likeness and hopefully spark recognition. Somebody that knows Adam today would make that connection with that image.
CBS's Julie Chen reporting. After a brief ceasefire Wednesday, Israel has resumed its offensive in Gaza. The 13-day assault has killed nearly 700 Palestinians, including 130 children. But Israel maintains it's been under attack for years. Wednesday alone, Hamas militants fired 14 rockets into Israeli towns. As CBS's Richard Roth reports, the attacks have created a siege mentality on the Israeli side of the border.
See what a rocket from Gaza can do when it hits, Israelis say. Spend a while in earshot of an air raid siren or cramped in a shelter, and it's hard not to have some sympathy. Or if you want to understand what pushed Israelis past their limit, they'll tell you, just take a look at the numbers. Since the first one almost 8 years ago, the Army says, more than 11,000 rockets and mortars have been fired from Gaza at southern Israel. They've landed as far as 25 miles beyond the Gaza border, killed 15 civilians, and put as many as 1 million people in range and in fear. You wash your face and brush your teeth, a boy named Moshe told Israeli TV, and then the siren sounds. He'd no sooner said that when it did. From fortified bus stops to barren streets, rocket attacks have changed the scenery in southern Israel. They've even changed the architecture. Take an ordinary elementary school where the worry's about keeping children safe. And the solution here is put up a giant steel canopy and cover the whole building. Behind the assault on Hamas, Israel says, is a policy summed up in 3 words.
Enough is enough. And we cannot tolerate a situation in which Hamas continues to target Israel, Israel's citizens.
It's won a rare consensus here.
I feel it strongly. The country feels that they're actually winning this war, and they feel it's a just war. It may not stop Hamas rockets forever, but it's going to take them an awful, awful long time to restructure the military wing.
Victory might be defined here in other terms as not much more than buying time. Richard Roth, CBS News, Sderot, Israel.
Shiite cleric Muqtada al-Sadr urged his followers Wednesday to protest the Gaza offensive by attacking American forces in Iraq. Calling the U.S. the biggest partner of the Zionist enemy, al-Sadr ordered supporters to carry out revenge operations. It's unclear how much influence the cleric still has. His militia has been considerably weakened over the past year, and he's believed to be living in Iran. The State Department called his orders outrageous. Believe it or not, Joe the plumber is headed to the Middle East to be Joe the war correspondent. Joe Wurzelbacher, the Ohio man made famous during the presidential campaign, says he'll spend 10 days covering the conflict for a conservative website called pjtv.com. He told reporters yesterday that he wants to let Israel's average Joes share their story. Still ahead, a divorce battle unlike any other. Details on what one man wants back from his ex that would require surgery. You're watching CBS News Up to the Minute.
It's the money you could be saving with Geico. He's not much for conversation, but if he was, it would be a conversation about saving you money.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
It's the money you could be saving with Geico. He's peering deep into your soul, as if he knows you like to save money.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
I couldn't sleep last night.
Me either, so I tried Unisom Sleep Melts.
They dissolve quickly without water and taste great.
You'll melt asleep fast, stay asleep, and wake refreshed.
Sleep well?
Like a baby.
Unisom Sleep Melts.
Melt asleep fast.
What's an emergency that boosts your health and energy? 1,000 milligrams of immune-strengthening vitamin C, plus naturally energizing B vitamins. Get a free sample at emergency.com and feel the good.
You can take the girl out of the rainforest, but you can't take the rainforest out of the girl. That's why I love these new Aqua Essences from Airwick. Its fragrances smell so fresh and natural. It really takes me back. New Airwick Aqua Essences fragrances, inspired by water-based botanicals. Bring the fresh smell of nature into your home. New Aqua Essences fragrances, available in scented oils, aerosols, and fresh matic. Airwick, it's good to be home.
More dishwasher brands are unanimous in their commitment to brilliant results by recommending Finish, the new name for Electrosol, the only all-in-one detergent with the revolutionary pre-soaking Powerball for a clean so powerful it shines. Finish, the new name for Electrosol, the diamond standard.
This week, tired of the same old you? Let the early show shake things up. Get fit, get a new job, get ready. New year, new you. This week on the early show. When the questions are just as important as the answers.
Aren't you going to have to tell them that they just can't do that?
There's one place where the biggest names in politics face the facts, face the truth.
How bad is this situation right now?
Face the Nation with Bob Schieffer, Sundays on CBS. The biggest names in politics face the nation with Bob Schieffer, Sundays.
In overseas trading, Japan's benchmark Nikkei index dropped almost 4%, closing down 362 points to finish at 8,876. Alexis Christoforous has more in this morning's CBS News Money Watch.
The Dow has erased its gains for the new year. News of mounting job losses and profit warnings from heavyweights Intel and Time Warner put pressure on stocks. The Dow sank 245 points, while the Nasdaq Composite slid 53. The market was reacting to news that payrolls shrank by 693,000 last month. The December jobs report due tomorrow is expected to show 7% unemployment. As more Americans lose their jobs, they're falling behind on their loan payments. The American Bankers Association says the delinquency rate on loans, including autos, home equity, and personal loans, is at a 28-year high, and delinquencies are expected to head even higher by the spring. Crude oil prices sank 12% Wednesday. That's the biggest one-day plunge in 7 years. Crude fell to a little over $42 a barrel after a government report showed a larger than expected rise in oil supplies as the recession continues to reduce demand. But the recession is actually helping business at the Family Dollar stores. The discount chain enjoyed a 14% jump in quarterly earnings and issued an upbeat profit outlook. Family Dollar, which sells most of its items for under $10, is benefiting from budget-conscious shoppers. That's your Money Watch. Log on to CBSNews.com to track the latest business headlines. In New York, I'm Alexis Christoforous.
As Alexis reported, the delinquency rate on consumer loans is at a 28-year high. Well, that's bad news for banks and credit card companies. It's actually creating business for some. CBS's Anthony Mason has more.
Here's one business that's hiring.
Okay, either you can make the payment or...
In Dallas, the Consumer Credit Counseling Service is adding 25 counselors.
Are you delinquent on your mortgage?
Because calls for help, which soared by more than a third last year,
Did you want to go ahead and go through the session?
are already jumping again this year.
We're probably expecting another 20 to 25% increase in call volume.
The problem started with mortgages, but now delinquencies on auto loans and home equity loans have reached record levels. And a new study says it's spreading to credit cards.
Basically, people are falling further behind?
On their credit cards, yes. And they're defaulting more, and they're paying less.
Since July, the study found balances that are more than 60 days past due have risen more than 34%. And 5% of all credit card borrowers are now more than 2 months behind.
That number again was...
At the Credit Counseling Center in Dallas, the typical client who a year ago had $21,000 in debt is now coming in with $30,000 in debt.
And as we're seeing unemployment go up to 7% and beyond, it's not just the debt level, but it's the lack of income to support the debt.
Todd Mark says the service counsels clients to call for help as soon as they sense they're in trouble.
We really serve as a triage center.
But these credit doctors say they're going to need more help in this emergency room. Anthony Mason, CBS News, New York.
A bizarre story out of New York. A doctor is demanding that his estranged wife return the kidney he gave her while they were still together or pay up. Dave Carlin from our New York station, WCBS TV, has the story.
Dr. Richard Batista is minus a kidney and will soon be minus the wife who now has it.
This divorce is killing me, period.
His gift of life to wife Donnell was back in 2001, one of his healthy kidneys to replace her failing ones. Now that she wants a divorce, he says, that kidney is mine, and this lawyer is backing him up.
In theory, we actually asked for the return of the kidney.
Because that is impossible, Batista wants $1.5 million in compensation for a gift originally given with no strings attached.
My priority was to save her life. Save a life for herself, save the life for the future of our children, and hopefully, with that in mind, keep the marriage alive.
I think it's irrational. That's an irrational way of looking at it. You gave it with good faith.
Lucille and Ed Krumholtz met the couple not long after the Batistas were married in 1990 and remember Donnell becoming sick. After 2 failed kidney transplants, it was discovered Dr. Batista's kidney was a perfect match. No answer here at the Massapequa home of Donnell Batista. CBS received an email from her lawyer. Douglas Rothkopf wrote, no comment. The facts will speak for themselves.
I think this whole incident brings divorce to a new level.
A new low, said Elaine Berg of the New York Organ Donor Network.
I've never heard of anyone wanting to take that gift back. From a legal standpoint, is once that organ is in someone else's body, it kind of belongs to them.
Legal experts say despite the couple's loss of heart, that kidney is guaranteed to stay right where it is.
WCBS TV's Dave Carlin reporting. Now, Dr. Batista claims his wife began having an extramarital affair 18 months after receiving the kidney transplant. Now, look at your Thursday weather. The latest satellite picture shows a strong storm pushing through the mid-Atlantic and northeast with a mix of rain, ice, and snow. Elsewhere, heavy rain and strong winds continue to batter parts of the northwest. Later today, snow showers are expected across much of the northeast with temperatures near 30. Meanwhile, the rain and snow will finally take a break in the northwest, giving the region a much-needed chance to dry out. In sports, the defending NBA champs, the Boston Celtics, are reeling. Having lost 5 of their last 7, they tried to take out the Houston Rockets. Hoping for better luck at home, they didn't get it. With 44 seconds left, Von Waver sunk this go-ahead three-pointer. Celtics suffered their first loss in Boston since November 14th. And a wild end to the Pacers-Suns game. Phoenix gets their first lead of the game after Leandro Barbosa nails this three-point jumper. Indiana was able to tie it up and even got the ball back with 1 second left. Danny Granger hits this three and wins the game for the Pacers, 113 to 110.
You gotta be kidding me. He just won the game.
Why buy half a mattress? 2 sides are always better than one. Celebrate with the American Spirit from Englander. Made in America, exclusively at Bedding Barn. Take it home with you or same-day delivery available. Buy at a Bedding Barn near you.
In Florida, Davie, Tamarack, Deerfield Beach, Boynton Beach, and West Palm Beach.
If you were injured in a car accident, would you call Steinger, Isco, and Green?
Absolutely. The insurance companies have lawyers on their side. You should have a lawyer on yours, too.
Sure I would. You make one call and let them help you with all the hassles.
Well, it could be a smart choice. You don't pay anything unless they win your case.
If I were injured, I'd want all the help I could get. Wouldn't you?
If you've been injured, call Steiger, Isco, and Green. 1-800-561-1111. Non-lawyer spokespersons.
Ready for an exciting new career?
Hey, it started today. You got to start training today. Come on.
Get the hands-on training you need for a top-paying job, like this graduate.
Before I went to Miami-Dade Technical Centers, I was feeling lost. But thanks to the training that I received, I now have an awesome career.
Technical training from Dade County Schools has helped thousands of students prepare for the job of their dreams. Financial aid is available. Log on and call 305-558-8000.
When you think of ultrasound, you probably think of pregnant women, right? That's only the tip of the iceberg. Diagnostic ultrasound technicians also check patients for problems of the heart, abdomen, and more. And the career field is growing as more doctors use ultrasound instead of x-rays. So if you want a career where you can help people and be in demand, call ATI for career training. The number is on your screen. Call ATI right now. One call can change your life. Call now.
Netting Barn has the largest selection of the world-famous Tempur-Pedic at the guaranteed lowest discount prices. You gotta feel it to believe it. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
In Florida, Davie, Tamarack, Deerfield Beach, Boynton Beach, and West Palm Beach.
It's more than the role of a lifetime. It's a role that shows an entire lifetime, from cradle to the grave, in reverse. Brad Pitt pulled it off in his new film, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, with some high-tech special effects and a healthy dose of makeup. CBS's Katie Kerr got an exclusive look behind the scenes.
He's known as one of Hollywood's most bankable and best-looking stars.
My name is Benjamin Button.
And in his new movie, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, Brad Pitt doesn't look a day over 75.
How old are you?
7, but I look a lot older. Based on the short story by F. Scott Fitzgerald, Benjamin Button is about a man born in his 80s who ages backwards.
What if I told you that I wasn't getting older, but I was getting younger than everybody else?
And the film's 45-year-old leading man insisted on playing the part from the cradle to the grave. So like many aging stars, Pitt had some work done. In fact, for the movie's first 52 minutes, Benjamin is completely computer-generated from the neck up.
For all intents and purposes, we effectively created a digital puppet of Brad that Brad could operate.
Visual effects artists at Digital Domain in Los Angeles began by asking Brad to make funny faces for their cameras, creating what they called the Brad Pitt Emotional Library. Meanwhile, a series of other actors with Benjamin's physical characteristics stood in for Pitt on set. Visual effects work being what it is, the blue hoods meant they could check their vanity at the soundstage door.
With the blue hood, it allows us to erase the head fairly easily and then apply the computer-generated version of Brad onto that body.
What if I told you that I wasn't getting older? I see it on screen and I'm playing off of that and I'm reacting to that.
Then, using 3D computer models aged to perfection and loaded with that library of Bradisms, animators could finesse Pitt's digital performance to make a perfect copy of the original. And to button it all up, they virtually stitched the digital head onto the actor's real body.
I felt pretty good, considering.
Brad Pitt may not be ready for the old folks' home yet.
Say hallelujah.
But being an armchair actor is something he says he could really get used to.
It's really quite freeing. I'd like to do all films that way.
CBS's Katie Couric reporting. Thanks for joining us this half hour. This is CBS News Up to the Minute.
CBS News. Experience you can trust.
Fresh front. A rocket attack from Lebanon threatens to widen the Mideast crisis. Flooding fears. Continued heavy rain causes mudslides and road closures in Washington state. And wicked winds. It's not just the rain. Fierce winds make for some wild rides in the Pacific Northwest. This is the CBS Morning News for Thursday, January 8th, 2009. Good morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Michelle Miller. This morning, there's been an escalation of the violence in the Middle East, an old battleground threatening to become a new front, Lebanon. Rockets were fired into northern Israel from Lebanon this morning. Israeli forces returned fire. There's renewed fighting in Gaza after yesterday's brief truce to allow the delivery of humanitarian aid. Peace talks are scheduled today in Egypt, but last night, the UN Security Council failed to reach a ceasefire agreement. Charlie D'Agata is in London with more. Good morning, Charlie.
Good morning to you, Michelle. Yes, nobody was killed in the rocket attacks fired from Lebanon, but the real impact is the fear of Israel opening another front with a far more powerful enemy.
Rockets fired from Lebanon threatened to widen the war in the Middle East. Israeli forces answered back quickly with artillery fire. The new attack came as Israel launched more than 60 airstrikes overnight against Hamas militants in Gaza, one of the heaviest assaults yet in the 13-day offensive. Nearly 700 people have been killed.
We don't want the civilians and innocent people to get injured.
Hamas continues to hit back too, launching more missiles into Israel and pledges to keep fighting until Israeli forces pull out of Gaza.
So they have to make the decision.